morning, and it is a relatively early morning. It's not even 8 a.m. Today's mission, and it is a mission, we are flying up north about 90 nautical miles, I think, up to the very edge of Lake Erie. We're going to Port Clinton, and we're going up there to repitch an RV-12 propeller. This is the guy that has an RV-12, and I help him with a lot of his maintenance, and I helped him with the prop hub service Bolton, which required retorquing the bolts when we put the hub back on. And we went with the default, or as close as we could get to the van's default angle on the propellers, and he just flew it up from Florida, and he says he got about 95 knots the whole way because we've got not enough pitch on the propeller. So I'm going up there. We're just going to repitch the propeller, hopefully. It's a beautiful day to fly, so don't even really need a reason. Never really need a reason. And today I'm going to take the autopilot and use the autopilot the whole way up because I've been trying to come to terms with the Dyna VNav again, which I did a couple years ago. This is the thing that will give you kind of a ILS-ish thing. And it's always been really tricky to program it to get it going. They've made some changes, and apparently now it's a little bit easier in the flight planning. All you have to have is, it's either the next or the last waypoint, has to be an airport or a runway threshold, and that's where the trouble comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and, it's going to be a very simple flight plan. I could do the whole thing direct to, but I'm going to do direct to this KUK Kilo Uniform Kilo Alpha Foxtrot intersection. I'm not going to put this one in because this is not an airport. And I think what would happen is, even if I needed to descend before this spot, it wouldn't. It would wait until the next waypoint is an airport. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's no big deal. I'll just go straight up here. And to do that, that's setting us up for runway 27. And I've not been able to find a way in the flight plan list to enter a runway as opposed to an airport. So what I've been having to do is a direct to the runway and then flush out the flight plan behind it or in front of it, which should be very easy because there's only one waypoint other than the airport. So I'm just going to do a direct to, and it's KPCW, Papa Charlie Whiskey. So I'm going to get down here, then you got to go back up here, then I get over here to the K. Oops, that's not what I'm going to do. There's the K, Papa Charlie Whiskey. There it is. So direct to that. Then we go back into that. Did I do that wrong? I think I did that wrong. So we're going to do that again. Direct to KPCW. Then we're going to go over to runway, and we're going to turn this little knob until the little green arrow says 27. You can't see it, of course, but there's an 0927 and 1836. Okay, so there's direct to. So now what that put in, instead of KPCW, and you can't see it, but it says KPCW.27. And that should now be in my flight plan, and there it is. So if we go to the flight plan menu, I should be able to insert waypoint. And that's going to be this kilo uniform, yada yada. I've already got the kilo. There's my uniform. And another kilo. That's 2 kilos. That's something like around 4 pounds. All right. And we need an alpha there. There it is, right there. So insert that in front of runway 27. Makes a lot of sense. And we're in navigate, so it's going to auto-sequence, but it still sees KPCW as the next waypoint. We don't want that, so I'm going to go back up here to KUKAF. There we go, and hit direct to. And then that will just segue into going on up to the runway, and once that turns us on course, which it will do, it'll turn us right on this course, it will decide when to descend at a 3-degree glide slope to 2 miles short of the threshold at 800 AGL. That's the plan. And here's the list. Here's all my reminders. I did not get the wiring tool. Damn it. I better pop it. Do I care? I don't think I need it. Really, all I needed was a pin remover, but we might be doing an additional job. We might be putting in the wire that causes all this stuff to communicate together. And I don't think I need a pin remover for that. I'm hoping not. That's the only tool I thought I might possibly need. And I don't think I will, so not worry about that. I get the torque value. It took care of that. Got the long straight edge right here. Put gas in the plane. All right, we're all set. So we can go back to exit. We're getting close on the oil. Doesn't matter. We can go ahead and taxi. I got a few more things to get ready to do before we taxi, and then we'll get down to the end of the runway, and you guys can join me in the takeoff. One of the niggling little details I wanted to get done, I've talked before, I think, about there's 2 different needles on this HSI, a purple one and a blue one. The blue one is like a homing beacon, almost like an ADF, if you know what that is. It just kind of points at the airport, where the purple one is actually your course line. and the purple one had disappeared. And I've also seen the purple one get into a different mode other than Skyview GPS, like if you had a navcom and nothing works. And I had to remind myself how to turn that damn thing back on, because there's a lot of menus here. If you're wondering, it's PFD HSI source, and it'll just toggle through. I've only got one source, so it's easy for me, but I had actually turned that off somehow, so we'll get back to that. So that was our momentary delay. We'll be in the air soon. So it's winds calm, and I got the dreaded taxi to runway 4. But I'm going to allow that today because we're going to the north. You know, we'll only be 45 degrees off of the north, and I think taking off on 2-2 and climbing up and turning around and coming back and getting on course would probably take just as long as taxiing down to 4, and I don't have to make waves that way, which, I mean, it's not a big deal, but I don't see any reason not to go all the way down there today. Okay, we're run up complete, and what I would like to do is dial in my cruise altitude. There it is, 5,500 feet. And I've already got my course laid in. Now, I've dialed this in before, and as soon as I start my takeoff roll, it says resets back to field elevation. We'll see what actually happens this time. I might be doing something wrong, or I may be just misremembering it, or whatever. Oh, I know what I've been doing. I've been just saying alt and using the flight director right off the ground to fly the flight director for the first part of the route before I turn on the autopilot. And what seems to happen is it just will. Well, why the hell? It's not even doing it. It just resets itself. So we'll end up doing that shortly after the runway, and we'll get it onto the autopilot or flight director as we're low, however we want to do that, and we'll be on our way. And I believe we are ready to go. There comes that voltage. Good. I've been watching that. Tower, experimental 284 Delta Golf, ready for takeoff, runway 4, departing VFR northbound.
Experimental 284 Delta Golf, Bolton Tower, turn left on course, runway 4, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 4, left on course for Delta Golf. So alt. Yep, alt didn't do what I wanted to do. Okay, 900, that doesn't do me good. All right, I'll do it by hand. Here we go. Get the plane straight. There we go. A cruise climb of 600 foot per minute. I don't really need quite that. At 87 knots. I mean, we're doing almost 90 knots and still climbing 400 foot per minute. And I'm going to bias a little bit off to the west here so we just don't clip the side of that Class C. I don't know how particular they are about that. Oh, you were this close. So we're going to bias this off to the side a little bit. Once we're past that, we're good to go forever. Although, no, yeah, we're good to go. I need, I think, 3,800 over Don Scott. We should easily have that by the time we get there. So it's just going to be droning along here for an hour, I imagine. And, you know, if I leave the camera running, I'm going to drone along. So catch you in a bit. I really just can't get enough of this plane. We are under the autopilot, climbing at 400 foot per minute to a target altitude of 5,500, climbing at 400 foot per minute at 100 knots, 100, 101 knots indicated. That's pretty nice. I do have a headwind, 12 knot headwind, so this is going to take a while. Went ahead and increased our climb rate a little bit because it doesn't look like we're going to make the 3,400 I need before Don Scott, and actually it's still not quite looking like we're going to make it. I still have a lot more climb I can do. But I may end up just kind of skirting the edge of it because there's no reason not to. I mean, really, what's it add? 2 minutes? Let's just skirt it and get back to a more reasonable climb rate. There we go. We'll just go around it. It was going to be close. We're on top of their airspace now, so what I can do, let me see if I get this right. I think if I say I want to go back to nav, nothing's going to happen until I turn the track to an intercept course to get that nav. Then it'll kind of intercept what I want. So let's try that. We're still on track. I'm going to nav. Okay, now it's saying track 337 to the GPS. Well, it's never going to get there because it's off to the side here. So I turn the track around like this, and I get to decide where I want to intercept that. And I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to put it way out there. There's no real hurry, no real hurry to get back on that. And where did I get it? I got it intercepting way up there. That's a nice gradual return to normalcy. And I am over, I'm definitely over to Class D. There we go. Yep, that's not a problem. Okay. Back to your repose. Oh, here's another interesting update. That 12-mile headwind, 12-knot headwind was apparently just down low because right now I'm showing nothing, variable. I'm showing 105 true airspeed on a indicated of 97, ground speed 103. So it looks like that wind has just immediately, just suddenly died off, which is nice. I could do without it. Well, I got 45 minutes to go. It's glass smooth, not much to look at because it's hazy, so I'm kind of watching the traffic screen and kind of thinking a Kindle app would fit right there. Read a book. Speaking of the sky view, I really wish I could get this to go away. Here, I'll grab you a quick picture of that. Basically what it has done is said, I'm my own traffic conflict and I'm going to nag you about it for the next 70 miles. I don't know how to clear that away from there. Irritating. No more than 2 minutes after I said it. I guess you just have to ask. It's like Google, it's always listening. Well, we're about a little more than halfway there, and that wind has circled around and is now a tailwind. We got a 7-knot tailwind. So indicating 103, true 114, ground speed 121, which is great for now, but if that's, if we have a headwind on the way back and later in the day it would probably be a higher value wind, it may take a while to get back. It's downhill all the way.
Good morning, Cleveland. Centurion 6239er Yankees with you passing through 544.
646 now for flight following.
4646, 39 Yankee.
This 49 Yankee or 46 Yankee is interesting. He was IFR. He requested an approach in the Cleveland Hopkins. They said it's going to be a while. There's a Cherokee flying a 6-mile RNAV IFR, and he's IFR, so you got to stay separate from him. And he called up, said, can I get 3,000? And he said, no, that's a conflict with that approaching traffic. So the guy immediately canceled IFR, got his IFR cancellation, and descended VFR to 3,000. So that's an interesting workaround. I guess as VFR, he doesn't have the same separation requirements, or at least the controller doesn't. So he can just let him do that. VFR is VFR, I guess. That was interesting.
And is ADSB equipped?
Now he wants to know if the Cherokee is ADSB equipped. I'm not sure why. And he's not getting an answer.
And over 39 Yankee, just give me a minute to remember how to pull that up. We don't normally look at it.
Why would you? In less than a year, there ever is going to be ADSB, but okay. That's interesting too. This guy's a barrel of entertainment. I'm learning. I wonder how they looked that up. He's looking up how to look it up.
Southwest 403, Cleveland departure, radar contact.
Yep, that's other work. We may not get a resolution on this one.
Oh, yeah. Cleveland 39 Yankee. He must not be. I don't have him in my box, so I was just curious here. I'll keep my eyes out for him.
And over 39 Yankee, he's 15 miles west of the field now, just turning inbound on the approach.
39 Yankee should be a factor.
He's getting pretty good service from Cleveland Approach. I stopped talking to them 20 years ago. They were
59, climb maintain 7,000, turn right heading 030.
very reluctant to let you into their class Bravo. It was, they'd vector you around over the lake and keep you out of the airspace, and I decided I could do that myself, and I'll vector around over the city because I don't want to be out over the water. That may have changed. I mean, I don't come up here a lot, and I don't typically need to talk to them. I like to talk to them when I'm going to Burke Lakefront, but this guy's been very helpful. I'm quite impressed. Get some weather.
Erie, Ottawa International Airport, automated weather observation 130, 2 Zulu, wind 0, Niner 0 at 5.
God damn, that's the wrong way.
More than 10.
I'm set up for 27 and they're landing 9, so I'm just going to do it direct to the airport and just fly it like a man.
17 Celsius.
Okay, so now I'm direct to the airport and wondering whatever happened with that Cherokee. He was approaching 27, they're landing 9er. We'll have to see how that goes, but he should be long gone by the time we get there. We still got another 12 minutes to go, and he should be long gone by then. We're just going to cross over and land on 9er.
93 Victor Golf, contact Cleveland Center 120.77.
And I'm going to go over going over to the Unicom, and that way I'll know exactly what's going on. I never really needed to listen to approach. I just like listening to approach.
Cleveland Center 135.1.
But we're going to go over to 22.8, and it's going to get kind of noisy. Well, maybe not. It's a work day.
427 Heavy, leaving 10,000.
Well, that would have been helpful. There's a guy that was a few miles south that was getting ready to all the crosstalk. So I don't know what runway he's setting up for. And again, he'll be gone by the time we get there too. But I'm curious. They're calling it on their observation page 0804, which is not a lot of wind.
That's crosswind, runway 25, runway single engine pattern, bell out.
Okay, that's a completely different airport, and that helped at all.
Traffic, Cherokee 4120 kilos, 9 miles on the ARDA, 9 miles east, inbound, RNAV 9, Portland.
Okay, so we are definitely on runway 9. Yep. We're definitely on runway 9, so that's a good thing to know. We got another 21 miles to go before we care, but it's good to know.
Portland traffic.
And the captain has illuminated the no smoking sign because we have begun our approach into Port Clinton. We're way the hell up at 35. I mean, this is at sea level, so, well, very close to it. So we're in a 300 foot per minute descent with 10 minutes to go, 18 miles to go. That should work out well. And I'm only going down to 35. We're going to be over a little bit of water, so I'll keep a little bit of altitude until we're over the dry land again, or certainly closer to the dry land again. Let's look at pattern altitude.
Say your position.
That's all Port Clinton traffic. Say your position.
Port Clinton traffic. We are about 7 miles east off the field. Port Clinton. 39 Yankees turning base. Port Clinton.
1600. Okay. It's very busy at the airport. Pattern altitude is 1600.
Indiana County.
I think it's just these two guys. We'll see. The guy that was squawking about the other guy not having ADSB apparently doesn't either because I don't see him. So
57 Juliet Whiskey, 7 miles southeast of the field, overflying 500 feet above pattern and joining the downwind.
we're only 11 miles out. I can see the airport, and I think there's just one more of those guys to land.
42's off north, 2 for the bay.
Don't know what that meant. Talking in code. I don't think I've ever landed on anything but 27 here. They've got, 27. They got the compass. They got 3618. I'm sorry, 361809 and 27. So all the cardinal points. But I don't think I've ever used anything but 27. That's still nice and smooth. Ooh, what a great day.
Roger.
47.
I'm actively managing the descent. Here's my little turquoise. When will you reach pattern altitude? I've got it right smack over the runway, which is okay, I guess. I don't know. Shouldn't be anybody there. Helicopter climbing out, maybe. And of course we'll be in the crosswind. We won't be over to, well, we could go midfield or we could go crosswind. Depends on if anybody else is flying. It could be a midfield crosswind or a departure and crosswind.
County, Skylane 8571, turning final for 7. Williams County.
Smithfield traffic.
Portland traffic, Cherokee 412 is clear, active runway 9, Bravo will be taxing to the ramp.
Sounds like somebody departing 9 with a not very high quality radio.
Port Clinton traffic, experimental 284 Delta Golf is 6 miles south, inbound left traffic, runway 9er, Port Clinton.
Traffic on there 42, Sierra, space to final for Put Bay.
Okay, Put Bay, that's right up there. Next island up. South Bass Island. 3 Whiskey 2. That's Kelly's Island and South Bass Island in the middle of north.
Smithfield traffic. Sirius 467 Charlie Alpha turning left crosswind runway 13.
I'd like to know where that departure went. Or if he went. Or if he's going.
Traffic, Bonanza 184 Alpha Julius 10 northwest Delaware inbound. Fremont traffic, Skyhawk 312 Echo, departing runway 9.
I'm going to go ahead and hold the altitude here and stay a little high over the top, about 500 feet above pattern altitude, just in case somebody wants to take off underneath me. I don't know what happened to that other guy that was talking about a departure on 27, or I'm sorry, 9er. So we will just do a departure in crosswind into a left downwind for runway 9er.
Traffic.
Yeah, you keep saying that, but it keeps just being me. I'm aware of my own presence, thank you. Sentient.
Bell Hot traffic, start 215, Bravo numbers, left crosswind, runway 25, single engine pattern, Bell Hot.
Port Clinton traffic, 4 Delta Golf is 2 miles south, entering a departure end left crosswind, runway 9er, Port Clinton.
Stumble, stumble, stumble.
Smithfield traffic, Sirius 467 Charlie Alpha.
Okay.
Space, runway 13.
Already planning ahead a little bit. He told me he's in the largest hangar and we'll have the door open, and I think I see it. And I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find that. Park right in front of it, I guess. I don't have to pay a landing fee or anything like that. I ain't gonna pay to land.
To the northwest.
All right, let's get on down to pattern altitude now that we're at the pattern. Over the runway, past the runway.
Wayne County traffic 17 Hotel, turning base 28, Wayne County.
Get into our downwind. And by let's, I mean me. I mean, you're boy, look at all the boats. This would be a neat place to live. Maybe not in the winter. I know it gets way cold up here.
Port Clinton traffic, 4 Delta Golf, left downwind, runway 9er, Port Clinton.
I have to think this through.
17 Hotel, turning final to 28, Wayne County traffic.
Because I'm not at home. Now, a big old restricted area here. There's Fort Perry or something down here. I don't know if they fire off artillery or something, but it's a kind of a fan-shaped restricted area. We got to kind of watch out. We're not going to go that far because we're still on, you know, it's still more than 5 miles away. It's an awareness thing. All right, this is still working. It's been shutting itself off a lot lately. I think heat. Okay, flaps, trim, and that's it for this airplane. No carb heat, nothing like that. No mixture.
Union County traffic, Bonanza 184 Julius, single left downwind.
Romeo traffic 1692 Yankee on downwind for 36.
Way out over the water here. Probably somewhat stupidly. Oh, we could glide from here though.
Romeo traffic, number 9193 Golf. 215, Bravo number, left base, runway 36.
Extend my base here a bit.
Romeo traffic.
Okay, that should do it.
Hotel, about to also enter.
Port Clinton traffic, 4 Delta Golf, left base, runway 9er, Port Clinton.
I keep wanting to say 22. My most common runway. Must be a little windy. There's a lot of movement on the water. Looks more like a crosswind than anything, but go with the info you have.
Port Clinton, 4 Delta Golf, final 9er.
traffic, Saratoga 8290 X-ray, 9 miles to the northeast, descending through 3,500 inbound for runway 5.
Didn't catch the airport, but we don't have a runway 5 here, plus he's a bunch of miles away. Yeah, it kind of feels like it's kind of right on the nose. Okay, fair enough. Not much of it. Cross, cross, cross. You have to find that correct taxiway. It's going to be harder when I can't see it. Okay, there we are. Well, that's that. Maybe you want to see a little of the airport. I'll leave the camera running. There goes a cute little Piper Colt. Taxiway Delta, that should work. Let's do that. They all go somewhere, right? That's where, I mean, that's where he came from. He came from somewhere, so off at Delta. Get some air in here. Since they won't let me drink beer. Okay, just. Oh, I see. The problem here is I could come nose to nose with somebody on the way out. The other choice was going to be to come down a runway. I think I'd rather stay on a taxiway than a runway. Okay, well, it's all just droning along from here. Talk to you on the way back, or maybe as we're here, if anything interesting transpires on the...
Had a reception here, and he had his wedding on the beach down the road here a little bit, and this was pretty cool. So the ceremony's going. They just re-renovated it. It's gorgeous inside. It's a theater that is now a plumber's business. That's strange. This is your ride around in the car because I'm too lazy to walk to her. If you can find a steel plant to drive past, this will be the perfect Sopranos opening credits.
Okay, the GoPro finally started working. It didn't like sitting in the heat, so I turned it on when we were sitting on the ground and it would just shut itself back off. So we're just off of runway 36 at Port Clinton, heading back. We're heading out here over the lake. We're not really going to go very far off the lake. We're going to go ahead and turn our downwind now and head south. And hard to tell. It doesn't seem like it's going to be bumpy after all, but it's a little early to tell. We're still up north here. We'll see what happens on the way back down south. It is quite warm, well, it's 80 degrees now that we're off the ground. It was about 88 degrees on the ground. A little bit hot. And let's see what happened to my direct to is now gone. Map, direct to. I swear this thing just gives up. Let's see, KTZR, direct, there we go, fixed. All right, yeah, you can't see much of the lake, I'm afraid. All you can see is sky. It's just a big piece of water. All right, we might as well get on nav and let the autopilot take care of that much of it. We're going up high. We're going up to about 6,500 if the clouds will allow it. Altitude 65. So I want altitude and up. And we'll make this a bit of a... That's going to go over to the nav again, isn't it? There we go, nav. There we go. And we don't need much more than 300 or 400 foot per minute climb out of it. So let's go for 400.
Good bay traffic, sir.
Got good altitude for getting over this little pond here.
Good bay traffic.
Alright, well, it's going to be this for another hour. But it was a productive trip. Added, I think, 2 or 3 tenths to the pitch of his propeller. So he went from...
Base 23, Gillian.
Went from 95 knots indicated to 105 knots indicated. He'd prefer 115, and I think as would everybody.
Unicom, good afternoon, Gamma Jet 80.
And flight tested. Your appetite for doing it all again when it's starting to get really hot, you don't keep that appetite for long. So this lake or whatever it is, bay or whatever it is well outside of its boundaries. There's a row of trees that's essentially... Yeah, we're on autopilot.
2-3.
Quick look at that. Where is it? Let's see, let's put a little video on that. There you go.
Short runway 3 awaiting jumpers.
Oh, that's they got jumpers at Putin Bay, which is new. I'm not a fan of that. Putin Bay, this time of year, is just crazy busy. And they actually, a few years ago, they had to add parking area because so many planes come in. People come down from Detroit, Cleveland, I come up from Columbus. And now they got parachutes jumping on the island. Traffic nightmare. Well, this guy's coming from 10,000 feet to 0 feet in about 2 minutes. Not a fan of it, but they didn't ask me. Nobody ever asks me.
Union County traffic, RVP Bravo is 9.
So I've been monitoring the OAT, the outside air temperature. We're down to 72 degrees. If I climb enough, I'm going to need a coat. It's quite comfortable. At 72, it's quite comfortable. So I think you get something like a 2-degree reduction for every 1,000 feet, and we're going to be at 6,000 feet, so 80 something. Yeah, it should come down right around to where it is right now, the low 70s. So, and no bumps yet. Reasonable temperatures so far. Doing great. Don't have a full belly. I made a mistake. I ate a big breakfast because I didn't know what we were going to do for lunch, if anything. And we went to a place called Jolly Roger's Seafood and perch sandwich. And of course, perch you catch right there in Lake Erie. And it was very, very good. It was a big bun with like 3 big pieces of fish on there. I could eat 1 piece of fish because I just wasn't hungry. So we sent that home as leftovers. He took that home as leftovers. Really, really good fish. So if you ever are in Port Clinton, look up Jolly Roger's Seafood and get there early because it gets crowded. Very, very good stuff.
Okay, traffic 742 in the Gulf departing the...
So one of the neat things I can do with the Skyview is kind of look at the weather I'm heading into. Now, the forecast today, and the forecast right now is still like 6,000 and scattered. I mean, it says nothing about rain in the vicinity or anything like that. Let me check her again. Where are we? CMH from 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Are we coming up on that yet? Yes, we are. 220 at 6 or more miles, scattered clouds at 5,000.
Area traffic.
From 6 p.m. in the vicinity thunderstorms. It's not yet 6 p.m. Thunderstorms are very much in the vicinity. So Bolton is still reporting VFR. I can't see that lasting much longer. This should probably be going west to east. So I'm going to end up probably stopping short somewhere, getting behind maybe Madison County or someplace, just getting behind all this stuff. We'll have to wait, well, how long have I got to go yet? 56 minutes. We'll have to see where that is in 56 minutes and deal with it. Just can't trust a forecast. It's just, damn it.
4684, Roger.
I do have to say that, yet again, really love the Skyview. It is so nice to know. I mean, I'm not happy that that weather is there. I'm happy that I know that weather is there. It looks like, zoom out, there's nothing behind it. It may just be a pop-up. There may be other pop-ups that come up behind it, but for now, it looks like it should just blow out of the way at some point. I may have to stop somewhere and wait, but it should just blow on through, and doesn't look like there's anything behind it. So we'll see when we get there. I can get another, I don't know, 30 or 40 miles out of the way before I have to land and wait it out. Bolton is still VFR. That won't last. Neither will Delaware.
5.57, have a good day.
It's going to catch the edge of Delaware. It's already over Marion. So where I'll stop, I'll probably end up heading west to get behind it and stop somewhere and just wait it out. So we'll see.
598 Delaware Romeo, 10,000.
Beach Jet 8 Delta Romeo.
Now, as much as I don't want to, I really don't want to, we're heading down to 4,500. I'm too close to these clouds. I can't tell if it's 500 feet below, but it's close and not worth it. I'm just going to get down to 45 and deal with whatever's down there. As long as we're on the way down, I'm also making that diversion to the west to just get behind this thing. It's going to be in front of me. It's like this close to already. So I'm going to circle out behind it here. And as it moves, I'll just keep going back to the east until it's out of my way.
18-2, 4521, good day.
Just about down to 45, yes, exactly down to 4,500, and now it's bumpy. It's going to be bumpy.
All right,
I'm going to be doing a lot of hand flying, or at least backing up of the autopilot, because it's getting a little bumpy.
Right, 010, pre-cover 4425.
Sierra, current altimeter 3017, wind 210
Well, we're heading off east. It stretches all the way to Dayton and Cincinnati off to the west. So I'm going to go down the east side. I have a direct to right now to Newark Heath Airport, which is well clear of this stuff. And I'm going to go that far. And if it hasn't moved enough to the east, I can actually get from there to Lancaster to Bolton. But chances are I'm going to be sitting in Newark for a while, and that's okay. It's interesting listening to Columbus approach vector people around this.
68 Tango, turn left direct Colney.
Moderate to extreme rainfall, 10 miles diameter, wherever that is.
Colney at about 3,000, cleared straight in, RNAV runway 27 left approach.
A lot of people scrambling for a place to go.
Colney at or above 3,000, clear for the RNAV 27 left, straight in, 68 Tango.
I like flying for all the relaxation that's in it.
For 08 Foxtrot, maintain VFR at 4,000 for arrivals into Columbus and turn left heading 020 vector for sequence into
Okay, all that fooling around was diverting yet again to Delaware.
Left to 020, 940.
It looks like I'm going to be able to get in there, and it's a little closer to home. It's not closer to home, it's closer to me. I'm not sure I can get all the way down to Newark before the weather catches up. Not actually 100% sure of Delaware. We're going to give it a try. And this one we can turn away and run if we need to, because the weather's going that way. So, looking pretty threatening over that way. We're going to bias it off to the south a little bit and see if we can get into DLZ. Well, if we can survive another 9 minutes, we'll be golden. 9 minutes to Delaware.
Green County traffic, 85 Whiskey's 4 mile final runway.
They're reporting lightning distant and thunderstorms in the vicinity. Yeah, you definitely see it. It's very clear to see where it's raining. A little bit there, but big rain over there. But I'm not seeing any lightning. It's still quite smooth. I feel a bump now and then. So another 8.5 minutes will be on the ground at Delaware. We're just going to wait it out. We're going to try to find a tie down. I don't know how windy it's going to get. It's just going to be. I think it's just going to be a buttload of rain. But I'm going to get this thing on the ground and get inside. Getting to be quite a lot of big updrafts and downdrafts, so now I'm having to manage the throttle quite a bit. We're 7 minutes away, 11 miles. Airspeed's all over the place, so the time and route is going to change around a little bit. Airspeed is just all over everywhere.
Traffic, Warrior 53 Yankees, 4 miles out, setting up for right traffic to runway 7, Green County.
Guy right here, 1,000 feet below me, flying straight into this stuff, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. Unless he's going to try to get under it and just dodge the rain cells. You can see the rain cells. I still don't think I'd want to be under it. Yeah, he's getting right up into it. Storm chaser or something. I don't know what he's up to. Have fun. Oh, this is a nice little clear area. I hope it's accurate. Oh boy. Yep. We're getting some chop. Now we're in an updraft. Big updraft. Ugh. Get her out of the yellow. I don't want that airspeed in the yellow if it's bumpy like this. As much as I'd like to be on the ground, I'd like to get there with the wings still attached. It's kind of a habit.
Greene County traffic.
9 miles and I don't see the damn airport.
5 miles south, entering a right base to runway 7, Greene County traffic.
I'm not sure I'm going to fly a full pattern here, to be honest. I'm just going to get this thing on the ground. Right traffic, straight in, I don't care.
Greene County traffic, Warrior 5-3, Yankee, 2 mile final, runway 7, full stop, Greene County.
Ground traffic 5 miles to the north, be a straight in, 20 full stop, ground.
I'm definitely helping out the autopilot at this point.
Here,
A lot of
traffic.
clicking is that clutch slips.
3 miles to the south, center left downwind, runway 27, here, traffic.
Actually, we're just going to go manual autopilot off. We're flying it. I'll take it from here. I got it, boss.
Lorraine County Airport, this is
Well, if it wasn't for all that mess off to the right, this would look just like any other summer day.
Field entering in the north.
All right, 4 more miles. We can do it. We can do it. Oh, I'm sorry, 7 miles, 4 minutes. That's even better. Runway in sight. Yay.
Greene County 5-3, Yankee, short final, runway 7, Greene County.
And it's runway 28. I better check on that. It's 28, I believe. Runway. It's over here somewhere. 28. Yep, it's a deal. 28. There's 23, and that wraps right around the end of the runway, the approach end of the runway, so I know where the airport is. Am I boring you? I'm not bored. Not bored at all. All right, 2,000 pattern altitude, we're 1,200 above that. We got 3 minutes to go. Oh boy, that was a bottom fell out of that one.
Ground traffic Skyhawk, short final, 20, full stop. Greene County traffic 1.
Oh, it's getting lumpy and bumpy and jumpy.
7, Greene County.
Let's see what the big picture is here. Oh, look at that. Oh man, what a mess. Bolton is still flagged as VFR. That cannot well, I guess it could be true. You might have the ceiling invisibility, you just don't want the rain and the wind. I mean, you don't even have the wind, might just be the rain, I don't know. Ugh, what a mess. Oh, it's hot down here. Whew. Hotter. Oh, it's all relative. Maybe I'm just sweating. That must be flop sweat.
Air traffic Cessna 66 on final.
I don't see anybody around. I think I might be able to get away with this somewhat non-traditional, non-standard pattern entry. To the degree that I'm even flying a pattern.
Lima, Allen County Airport 203 Delta Charlie is transitioning to airspace from south to north at 4,500 feet, Allen County.
Yeah. Face made for radio and a voice made for print. All right, we gotta lose some scoot here, and we gotta lose some height here. We're way high again. Okay, well, this will be a nice way. We'll visit Shane, the mechanic here. Haven't been here for a while. Honestly, I swear, if it wasn't for all these bright colors down at Bolton, I mean, it just doesn't look that bad from here. God, do I want to go down there and take a look? Not really. What's behind all this? How long is this going to be? There'll be a gap. There's going to be a gap pretty soon. Well, I don't know. It looks fine. Well, let's land. We've come this far.
Delaware traffic, 284 Delta Golf, final 28.
Otter by the foot. Yeah, these cells are really spread out. It seems to be down on the other side of town where the big problem is. Of course, where I need to be. What are you going to do? Want a good scare? Go by air. It's windy. And gusty. And bumpy. Ugh. I blame the weather. That was just bad. Oh, lordy. Boy, having trouble keeping on the runway. It is gusty. I'm going to park in the lee of a hangar, I think, and try to keep this thing from blowing away. All right, well, I'll see you again for the short trip down from Delaware to Bolton, whether that be today or some other day. GoPro is being a jerk again. We're off of Delaware. I don't know when it quit. We're off of Delaware. We're making the 20-mile trip down to Bolton. Still running? Yep, okay. So it's visibility 10, ceiling, well, it's not even ceiling, it's 5,500 scattered, which isn't even a ceiling, and at most light rain is what they're saying. So it looks clear all the way down there. We'll go on down there and see what happens. Failing that, we'll turn around and come back to OSU because there is still some red down there. There could still be something down there. But I did just check the observation down there. The wind's like 8 knots. You know, it's nothing going on. Before, when the rain was blowing through, it was like 16 gusting 36, and that's all gone now. So we're just going to pop down here, see what we can see. If we have to, probably won't come back to Don Scott. I'd probably go out to Ugly Young Farmers. It's already blown through there. So I would probably just head out west a little bit, but it looks like we're going to be okay. So I guess there's a rain cell over there, and there's one over there. They're actually quite easy to see. When the ceiling is this high and it's just the rain coming down, it's pretty easy to see it. What you can't see is the wind that comes in front of it, so you can't just treat it like you can just walk around it or whatever. You got to pay attention to what's going on around you. So anyway, we're on our way down there. It's 15 minutes at this point. And if anything, well, I guess I'll just let it run. I don't want to worry about it. I'm just going to let you guys run. I got other stuff to worry about. We got to get over the class Delta at OSU. We need 3,400 for that. I'll just angle off from it if I have to. We only need 400 more, so shouldn't have any trouble with that. Or we just go around it. At this point, it's like a mile out of the way at best. It's no big deal. Everything looks fine, except there's a cell out there and a cell out there. Everything looks like, and they're not moving very fast. That's the thing. It's not like they're doing 50 miles an hour and they'll beat me to the airport. It's not like that. So let's get a tower in here and see what's going on. I'm probably the only one even coming in right now. All right, 121.8. 121.8. There we go. All right, so it looks like it should be pretty much routine from here. That's our hope. We're over. We can go 3,500 over Don Scott. That's no longer an issue. I'll go a little over that. I like to have a buffer on that kind of thing. And 37, that should be enough right there. We'll just take it right about here. And I'm just going to keep on going fast. Let's just get this done. Okay. Well, interesting day, right? Like I say, I'm just in it for the relaxation. That's still funny. Funny to me.
Bolton Tower, experimental 284 Delta Golf.
Experimental 284 Delta Golf, Bolton Tower.
We're 15 miles north. Are we going to be able to get in there?
Experimental 8 Delta, or correction, Experimental 4 Delta Golf, current weather, wind 230 at 5, gust 16, visibility 10, ceiling 10,000 broken, temperature 21, 2.19er, altimeter 3021.
Very good, thank you.
No mention of rain. That's all I was looking for. He has to do the official thing, I guess. I actually asked him for a weather briefing.
4 Delta Golf, report a 2-mile right base, runway 22.
Report 2-mile right base, runway 22, 4 Delta Golf.
Oh, okay. He wants to get his glider cleared. As long as he knows it's another 8 minutes. Big one out there. That's a big one. I don't see it on here though. It's all, I mean, that if that's rain, it should, well, maybe it's this orange stuff, or usually it takes red to actually be rain. The yellow and the green, you never feel a thing. The orange might be a little bit of rain. Also not sure what that red dot there is. That's just outside of Lily Chapel. That's interesting. I wonder what that is. Oh well. Oh, it just could be a little bit of rain. Okay, no biggie. All right, making our final turn in here. We got another 12 miles, 7 minutes to go. You can still see the runway. That's nice. I'm looking right at the airport, so looking good, looking good, looking good, looking good. Let's keep that up. I'm doing some cheerleading now. Come on, weather. Let's see, he wanted a right base. I mean, really, I'm set up for a straight in, but we'll give him his right base. He was very helpful with the weather. Or the reporting thereof, anyway. Oh, it's nice to be able to see it. I get panicky about the weather. If that soccer field were to freeze right now, they could play hockey on it. We still have lots and lots of standing water. A lot of the farmers have been able to get their crops in, which is lucky. I mean, it's been so wet, they can't even get out in the fields. Down in the red. Now that's some serious rain. Purple is what's really bad stuff, but even in the red, from here, it doesn't look that bad. I'm not going to fly into it to find out. But that's got to be actual precip if it's red. Yellow and orange, not so much, but definitely the red. Got to be some precip. Otherwise, what's the point of it? Red is supposed to be frightening. Well, we're pointed directly at the red now, and I can see that the clouds are lower. I'm not sure I could even see rain from here. I mean, I can see the downpours, but I can't really see a light drizzle, which that could be what that is. I can see downtown clear as a bell. This is very, very spotty, very widely scattered. Just my luck that it parked over Bolton for half an hour. All right, this is probably about 2 miles.
Bolton Tower, 284 Delta Golf, 2-mile right base, runway 22.
Number 4 Delta Golf, runway 22, cleared land.
Go land, runway 22, 4 Delta Golf.
Streets are wet. I can see that the streets are wet. Runway will probably be wet, but I'm getting nothing on the windshield. Hey, see that wind, how we're crabbing? And flaps. And trim. All I got to do now is a landing to be able to do that. Runway's wet, I can see it from here. Glad I put my car inside, top was down. That'd be a stupid thing to do. Boy, I can feel the crosswind. Really feel the crosswind. Right to left. Oh, here's the rain. Finally we get some rain. That's nothing. I might have been able to do this without stopping at Delaware, but there's a reason I didn't want to try it. Because I might not have been able to do this. It's so hard to tell. I mean, there was purple down here at the time. Purple's not good. Unless you're a grape. And green, right? Green grape? I'm babbling at this point.
Bolton Tower, survival 14.
I'm not all alone.
Survival 14, Bolton Tower.
That's the big hangar ready to depart for Mount Carmel, Grove City.
Oh, it's helicopter, light flight.
Bravo 14, not in sight, departure bay at your own risk. Use caution, proceed on course, wind 210 at 8, altimeter 3022.
I have always considered departure to be at my own
Departure on
risk.
risk using caution. Bravo 14, thanks.
Right Alpha 3, right Alpha 3, right up. Route
For Mountain 4 Delta Golf, turn right at Alpha 3, taxi to parking, via taxiways Alpha and Charlie, monitor ground point 8.
Right Alpha 3, copy to Park Alpha Charlie, Mount ground point 84 Delta Golf.
And just happy to be done with all this. I'm not going to be verbose. Okay, well, this was quite an interesting trip, wasn't it? Hope you enjoyed it every bit as much as I did. See ya.